Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Space News Pod, a show about SpaceX, NASA, and spaceflight. I'm your host, Will Walden, and on today's episode, we're going to be talking about something really interesting. How you, yes, you or me, can book a flight to low Earth orbit via SpaceX. You'd be flying in a Dragon capsule well above the Earth. You'll be able to see the curvature of the Earth from this flight, much higher than any other private space flight right now, such as Virgin Galactic or also Blue Origin. And you would be actually in orbit, flying around the Earth numerous times. SpaceX just updated everything, so we know what to expect. Now let's take a look at all of this. First and foremost, remember Jared Isaacman? Everybody knows about this guy. If you know about SpaceX, you know about private spaceflight, you know about Jared. Well, Inspiration 4 was the first time that SpaceX had a cupola, which is a big window on a Dragon spacecraft. And Jared and his crew for Inspiration 4 went to space and had this available to them. And now, here's a few photos of it. I just want to show this to you so you can see what it's like. And then here's another one of Jared. He looks really great there. I mean, Jared, look at that. How did you get that great lighting and that great photo? But the great thing is, SpaceX just opened this up to everybody. Not just private billionaires like Jared, but every single person. And here is Sawyer Merritt on Twitter X saying they have human spaceflight seats. This is where I learned about it. I want to give credit to Sawyer. Shout out to Sawyer. They have spaceflight seats available for Earth orbit missions in late 2024. That's this year. If you have some money, we don't know exactly how much it's going to be, but if you have some money, you could go to Earth orbit. You could leave on a rocket. You could leave the Earth on a rocket. Stay in our gravity well, of course, but leave the Earth and go to Earth orbit if you have enough money to go there. So SpaceX does a few things. All Dragon and Starship missions have the ability to conduct scientific research. Of course, that's what they're going to be doing during some of these missions, scientific research. But most of all, you get to see the Earth from up on high, which is insanely cool. You get to orbit 90 minutes. Orbit frequency every 1.5 hours. You go around the Earth. You get to see everything. Mission duration 3 to 6 days. I'm sure it depends on how much you pay. Every 3 to 6 days is your mission duration. So let me know down in the comments what you would do if you went to Earth orbit. And we have some kind of basic information about how much this might cost you if you have a crew of people. And we're going to get into that a little bit later. You're going to be 300 to 500 kilometers above the Earth's surface, seating 2 to 4 passengers. So I guess you could book a 2-person flight, 3-person flight, 4-person flight. That's up to you. There's going to be a cupola. So they've announced this. There's a cupola for everybody involved. So now these Dragon rides are going to have a giant window in them so you can see not just Earth, but you get to see space from space. That's a wild concept. I love space. I love space flight. And I would love to go to space, but seeing space from space seems way out there to me. That's going to be a trippy experience for anybody that does this. It's going to be a life-altering experience and mind-bending experience for anybody that does one of these flights. So I hope that it gets cheaper and more people can do it. I hope it gets down to $1 million. It's not quite $1 million yet. It's a little bit more, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Cargo and science, up to 192 kilograms of cargo. Power, data, communications are available. Book your flight to start exploring Earth orbit. Seats and on-orbit research opportunities available starting late 2024. Inquire below. So if you click on this, it opens up an email link. So your email client opens up, Gmail, whatever. Then you have to email them and be like, hey, I am interested in this. This is who I am. This is how much money I have. But the deal is with most people, you probably won't be able to afford it. And that's a bummer because this should be available to, I think, everybody. It's just about the same as like a flight from LA to New York. You should have the ability to save up for a few months, maybe a year, and get your flight from LA to New York or to, wherever you want to go in the world. But if you want to go out of world, it's going to cost a little bit more money. And the estimations are a little bit high. So I believe Jared and his crew for Inspiration 4 paid around $50 million for this. So think about it like this. If you have 4 people, $10.5 million per person. You get 3 to 6 days of mission duration. That's not bad. I mean, considering that you get to leave the Earth for $10.5 million and you get to spend 3 to 6 days orbiting, and I know that's a ton of money for so many people, including myself. There's no way I could ever get $10.5 million to go to Earth orbit, but it's a possibility now. And that is one of the things that SpaceX has always strived to do, is send people to space. So not only do they send people to the International Space Station via NASA, but the long-term goal, of course, is to send people to Mars. And this is one of the first steps to do this. But you don't only get a cool flight to Earth orbit, you get the suit. You get to have this thing forever. It's custom tailored just for you. Get your own helmet, get your own suit, and this comes with a package. So $10.5 million ish. I'm throwing this number out there so we know kind of what a round number would be for this. $10.5 to $11 million for this. And you get a custom spacesuit that's yours. You get a helmet, really cool helmet. The visor, of course, very cool. Designed to provide a large field of view and rotates open. We've all seen it. It looks beautiful and wonderful. 3D printed helmet. It's printed specifically for you with customized padding houses, microphones for communication, and valves that regulate the suit's pressure systems. Outer layer, everything. Flame retardant. It's a wonderful suit. So you get this for part of that money. So say about $1 million is for the suit. Let's just say that. So like you probably spend about $9.5 to $10 million for the flight. Of course, you go up in a Dragon. It's capable of carrying up to 7 passengers to and from Earth orbit and beyond. But SpaceX is allowing only 4 people, 2 to 4 people for these missions. And I think it's because, for safety constraints, you don't want to just pack everybody in there. And it's not that comfortable when you have 7 people. Maybe if you're going to the space station for an experiment, you're going to be on the space station after that. That seems okay because it's like a day to get to the space station. But if you're going to be in orbit for 6 days, you don't want like 6 other people crowding around you. Plus, there's barely any room to move in there with 7 people. So, 7 people be in their seats, and then you kind of just like move around a little bit to stretch your legs. But it would be really cramped for 7 people. So the normal one, 2 to 4 people. I think 2 people would be incredible. 3 people would probably be the best for me. 4 people would be a party. And I think 3, you could really focus on the things you want to focus on. But 2 would be very serene, I believe. I think 2 would be a great time too. So between 2 and 3, it's perfect for me. Let me know in the comments if you would like it to be packed with 4 people, or if you want, a more solemn, quiet 2 people journey to Earth orbit. So this is getting more affordable for everybody. If it's about $10 to $11 million, $15-16 million, something like that. It seems like a lot of money, but it's going to go down because more people that book these things, of course, like anything, the price goes down. So I'm assuming in 10 years, it's going to be down to maybe a couple 100,000 for a flight to Earth orbit, which is incredible because they can send hundreds of Dragon capsules into Earth orbit every year if the FAA approves it, and if the government bodies and they have enough places to fly from. They can do this anywhere in the United States that allows space flight, and they can make their own launch pads. And who knows what they're going to do in Boca Chica. I know it's a Starbase facility for Starship, but who knows if they're going to do a Falcon launch from there too. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they'll build a different tower. They don't have any plans for it now. So I just want to throw that out there, that there may be a possibility in the future. But from the Cape, yeah, you get to fly from NASA possibly. How cool is that? First, you get to be at NASA at the Cape Canaveral station, and you get to go to a storied launch pad where astronauts have flown out from. NASA astronauts have made history from that launch pad. So there's a possibility you could do that as well, which is a new thing for SpaceX, brand new. And of course, eventually Starship. Eventually you'll be able to go into space in a Starship. And Elon said that he's hoping to get each launch of Starship the cost of that down to $1 million. $1 million. Of course, you never know with Elon and how much it's actually going to cost. But if you can get this down to $1 million per launch, and you get to pack this thing with like 10, 15, 20 people, who knows how many people could go to low Earth orbit and float around there for a little bit. Once this is human rated, the future is bright for human spaceflight, because once you go to orbit, it's kind of like, if you're an adventurer, you're going to want more adventure. So not only will you go to low Earth orbit, but you're probably going to want to fly around the moon. And maybe you're going to pay $5 million for a flight, each person. I don't know. Make a bunch of money for SpaceX, which is great. Continue the development of Starship, $5 million each. But maybe when you go to the moon, because it's such a bigger trip, you might pay $20-30 million, but you get to go around the moon, which was, unheard of even a few years ago. Not only will you orbit the moon and come back to Earth, but there's maybe a possibility you could land on the moon once they figure out the Artemis mission Starship lander. That may be a thing for regular people to pay, maybe $50 million to land on the moon. I don't know. I'm throwing out numbers here. I'm throwing out numbers, but there's a possibility that in the future we could all go to the moon. Develop research, of course. And here they say the road to developing or making humanity multiplanetary. And they have a whole thing here where that shows all of their missions and how they got there. So if you want a book, go to spacex.com/human spaceflight. And you will see this join a mission link. Please don't flood them with emails if you have no intention of going. They're not giving away free seats. I know that. They're not going to give away free seats. If you're an influential person, I can understand that, but they're not going to give you a free seat, which is a bummer. I would love a free seat, but they're not going to. So if you have some money and you're interested in this, contact SpaceX. They will be more than happy to, take your money and send you to Earth orbit by the end of 2024. Available starting late 2024. That's this year. So that's about it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. And I would want you please to give this video a like and possibly a subscribe. And I'll tell you why. Because if you like the video and you subscribe to the show, YouTube, I almost said SpaceX, YouTube will show you more spaceflight content in the future from not only me, but other creators that create SpaceX content. So that's it for today, everybody. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you in the next one.